We are recording, as you can tell by that announcement. We are welcoming Chris Draft for Lung Cancer Awareness Month. Chris is instrumental about his ferocity, I guess, about raising awareness for lung cancer. And I know that some of you met him at the summit briefly, but we want to hear from Chris and what he has to say about Lung Cancer Awareness Month. And I'm going to go ahead and throw my introduction to Amanda Nurstead, who's our Vice President. And Amanda, take it away.
Great, thanks. Hi, everyone. I am Amanda Nurstead. I'm an ALK patient as well as our Vice President of ALK-positive Incorporated. So we are super excited. I want to give you a little background. We made an ALK mini documentary, and there are 3 goals for this documentary. First was to kind of give a personal touch about our disease, that it's not just ALK-positive. There is some human aspect to it. We want to try and move people emotionally a little bit. We also wanted something to present to potential donors. Not only is it just for, the do-it-yourself fundraisers, but also to organizations, to pharmaceutical companies, and also to possible corporate sponsorships and corporate donations that we're hoping to get. And we also wanted to have a film that just represents our group to the world. Something that hopefully people will get interest in for advocacy and for fundraising. So we're really excited. The people, this was funded by one of our ALK patients, Carla Castro Frenzel. It was funded by her and Tin Cup Productions. And so it has Gina Hollenbeck in it, and also Carla and myself and Denise Cochran in it, and of course Dr. Christine Lovely and Dr. Vincent Lamb. So without further ado, I'm excited to show this to you.
I think patients are looking for reassurance and to know that I care about them and that I'm going to do my best to make sure that they're safe and that nothing scary is going to happen to them. I'm entering a really sacred space, the space of family. I'm completely committed to the care of the whole child. I was on call when I noticed there was something wrong. I was playing with my necklace as I'm looking at the schedule, and my hand grazes my collarbone and feels something hard and round that is not my collarbone. And then I immediately thought, oh my God, is that a lymph node? I knew there's no way this can be anything good. When I was told I had lung cancer, of course, that was a shock.
It was a lot for me. It was a lot to take in. Then I started getting into it, and I saw that it wasn't just me.
I was probably at the peak of my health. I was training for a triathlon. I never in a million years suspected that the cough that I had was lung cancer.
I was taking a jog and I was completely out of breath. I am a never smoker, active wife and mom to 2 little girls. So being told you had stage 4 lung cancer was very shocking to me.
Traditionally, paradigms for treatment have been pretty poor, and patients are often told you have a very limited life expectancy and there's not much hope for you. There is tremendous hope for lung cancer. So I'm often asked, what is ALK? ALK, or ALK, stands for anaplastic lymphoma kinase. What happens in a patient that has ALK-positive lung cancer is the ALK piece of DNA is flipped in a way that it's not supposed to be. And that often puts it next to another gene called EML4. And the coupling of EML4 and ALK together gives the cell a signal to grow, and it pushes the cell to become a tumor.
I think that when you say cancer, a lot of people think that it means death. It's a death sentence. But now it's 6 years later and I'm still here.
We have tremendous opportunities for different kinds of treatment: chemotherapy, immunotherapy, targeted therapies.
I started treatment right away. Within 2 weeks, I felt the lymph nodes starting to shrink already in my neck. By 4 weeks, I couldn't even find them anymore.
The treatment has been a miracle. It's been a lifesaver. We're planning a future now.
I've now been on 4 approved drugs, and each time what happens is the cancer gets smart and it outsmarts the drug.
As a physician, the hardest conversations we have with our patients that we're seeing and getting so close to is telling them that the therapy, the drug that they're taking, is not working anymore. There is an urgency to develop new therapies because I don't ever want to go down to clinic and say, I have nothing left for you. The only way we can develop new therapies is through research.
Dr. Lovely applies for these grants, and many times, if not every time, it comes back to impact not as great.
Of all the types of cancer, lung cancer is the least funded. About 1 in 10 grants gets funded.
In a climate where lung cancer remains the leading cause of cancer death, yet lags far behind in terms of federal research funding, patient-led fundraising has been absolutely critical.
To date, ALK-positive Incorporated has raised just over $3 million.
I was very fortunate to receive an award from the ALK-positive group to help support the research in my lab. Now, these are experiments where we're looking at tumor cells that grow in the lab that are often from patients to try to understand, why did a drug work? Why didn't it work? The funding can also help support clinical trials. And the third thing is funding can be used to support the next wave of cancer researchers.
When it comes to research, it takes millions to actually get something to a bedside.
We are truly dependent on philanthropy in helping us develop our ideas and quickly turning them into potential life-saving new therapies for our ALK patients.
My hope is that everyone working together, patients working together with doctors and researchers can make a huge impact.
It is these patient interactions and these stories and these personal connections that really drive us as researchers and me personally to make as much progress as possible each and every day.
We have choices, and these options come with research, and we need to keep that going.
It is so important to continue raising money for research, because when we have more research, we have more life.
Watching my daughter go through high school, or watching my other daughter learn to compete in horseback riding. I mean, this is life. This is what it means to be alive.
That is it. That's our mini ALK documentary. So this is our goal for the making this film. It will be on our ALK-positive Incorporated website at alkpositive.org. And we are going to use it for Lung Cancer Awareness Month in November. And we are hoping that you will help us, and that our goal for the organization is to raise $1 million. And we almost did it last year, and we're really hoping and confident that we can do it again this year. Every dollar will be matched up to $333,000, and Misha is going to talk more about how to fundraise and how to go about that. But we're super excited, and the documentary will be on our YouTube channel, and right after ALK Talk. Please use this and share it. And can everyone hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I saw somebody said I have no sound. So we're really excited for that. So one of our guest speakers that is most everyone knows, he is the founder of the Chris Draft Foundation. He is a former NFL player. Lung cancer is near and dear to his heart. He is a fierce advocate in our lung cancer community. So without further ado, Mr. Chris Draft.
Awesome, ma'am. Amanda, thank you so much for that introduction. And yeah, what an awesome video. I think and I hope for you guys, you realize that it's obvious. I mean, absolutely obvious that if you want people to connect with you, that you need to tell a story that's about people, right? I want to just make it, as we're going into Lung Cancer Awareness Month right now, I want to make, unfortunately, for some reason in the last 10 years, I have not been able to make it abundantly clear that people do not care about cancer, that they absolutely hate cancer, right? But they care about people, right? So as you guys, I want to get this in, because I want you to understand that don't even think about telling your story with just all your cancer facts. Don't even think about telling people who have no damn clue about cancer all the damn drugs that you're on, right? Because they don't care and they have no clue. And the only people that have a clue are somebody that went into a cancer center. And how many people want to go in a cancer center? You know, I travel all over the world, and one of the things I tell people is that who says on their trip, I mean, I'm gonna go to California. My nephews are playing their last varsity football game of the season. They're not going to the playoffs as their team is struggling a little bit. But on my way out there, if I wasn't a lung cancer advocate, would I say, hey, I'm going to Southern California. Man, I want to go to Santa Monica. I want to visit the pier. Man, I want to go to Griffith Park because I want to go up at the observatory, and I want to go to see where the Dodgers play. Then I want to go to USC Norris Cancer Center. Then I want to go to the Johnson Cancer Center of UCLA. And I want to go to City of Hope. And then I want to go to Disneyland, right? Ain't no regular person gonna do that. And nobody trying to go and visit the cancer center. Nobody, if the cancer center was on the right side, you would try to make sure you look to the left side and possibly even almost get in an accident because you don't want to look over at the cancer center, right? So I want you guys to get that, because that's what we have to think about with Lung Cancer Awareness Month. But too often, people are making these assumptions that just aren't even true, right? And in the process, all we're doing is hurting our own community, right? Actually thinking that anyone was told that anyone can get lung cancer when you weren't told anyone can get lung cancer. I mean, that's just crazy. That just makes no sense, right? So usually if I tell my story, I say, if you guys don't know, my wife, Keisha, was diagnosed. I didn't just randomly say, let me be a lung cancer advocate. No, my wife, Keisha, was diagnosed, 37 years old, amazing shape, but never smoked. And December of 2010, it comes back, stage 4 lung cancer, and a month before it, she's challenging me to do P90X and run a 10K race, right? It's real, it can happen. But until my wife was diagnosed right in front of me, what if someone would have said anyone could get lung cancer, would I believe? Absolutely not, because all the messaging was not saying that could happen, right? So we need to be vigilant in really making sure that we tell people that it can happen, right? When I'm letting them know, I'm gonna make sure they understand. Let me show you a picture of my wife, and I'm gonna meet you with the fact that, I know before this moment, before the moment that my wife was diagnosed, if you would have said it to me, I would have said, absolutely no, I don't know nothing about it. What are you talking about? I said, but here's what I want, is I want you to be able to, from my tragedy, I want you to be able to know. I care about you. That's why I'm sharing. I'm not sharing because I care about myself. I care about you enough to share that anyone can get. That's the challenge that I want you guys to get, is that when you're out here fundraising, do you actually believe that it can potentially help the person that you're talking to? Or is it all about you? Is it all about me? Because I want you to know that people don't care always about you unless they're your mama, your daddy, and some of your real close family and friends. Otherwise, they care about themselves, and their close family and friends. So the question is, do you believe, all of you guys on this call, you have to go away before Lung Cancer Awareness Month? If you haven't got it before now, I'm going to ask you tonight, allow yourself to actually believe that anyone can get lung cancer. So if you are sharing with love to that person. You care about them enough to share that it can happen. You're not just sharing because they can help you out, because if that's what you're doing, then, hey, and they maybe don't respond, it's not because of them, it's because of you. But we're asking with Lung Cancer Awareness Month is to finally, in the lung cancer community, actually love our people. Number one, that's why we fight, right? So when people say, and then be honest about what's really going on, right? So number one, people will not know that lung cancer can happen to anyone. They don't know that unless we tell them. You're going to have to tell them. Are they going to believe it right away? No, they're not. So you're going to have to walk with them, give them some examples. That's why you have to show people, walk with them a little bit, all right? Because they're a little bit like, hold up, I don't know if this can happen. Yes, it can, right? The other part is, just because there's a group of people that haven't smoked doesn't mean the rest of the people are trash because they have a connection with smoking. We've got to own this narrative where we accept the fact that in 1998, the cigarette industry got indicted for $200 billion. $200 billion that literally said that the people who have smoked are victims of the industry. So you can't go and say, oh my goodness, it's been underfunded for so long, it's just been so bad, without acknowledging that that is not the public's fault. That if there's anything in terms of being underfunded is that there was a pot of money called $200 billion that our community didn't activate on, that our community didn't fight for, that our community didn't claim. And they didn't do it because they didn't believe in survivorship. And so as you hear somebody talk about stigma, the stigma comes with a connection with just a prevention-only campaign. A prevention-only campaign that made it where when I went to American Cancer Society, the national partner of the NFL, the commissioner of the NFL set up a meeting with me and American Cancer Society, my next door neighbor, in March of 2011. Because the commissioner said, whatever you need, Chris. He said, go in there and talk to them and let us know as an NFL, what can we do? And American Cancer Society said, all we have is the Great American Smokeout. That's what they said. So when we talk about this stigma and we say that the people only know something, it's because they were taught it. They were taught it. If there's a lack of anything, it's because we haven't fought to change it. American Cancer Society has not made it clear enough that it's more than prevention. We are pushing towards that happening. And so when you see your stories and things that, and if there's a lack of in a certain way, we have to be honest about what have we asked for historically? Did we ask for research historically? And if we would have asked for it, would we have gotten it? It's the reason why research dollars are low, only because we didn't ask. I can tell you that the NFL has been on board from the beginning when my wife got diagnosed. And I tell you that there are days when I allow myself to think, what if my wife had breast cancer? And I try not to do that. I try not to because not because I'm jealous of breast cancer in any way. It's because I respect the fact that they made it clear that research mattered. So when I walked over to American Cancer Society, the breast cancer community would have made sure that I didn't waste my platform of the NFL. They would have made sure that the cancer centers were standing up and saying research matters. They would have checked American Cancer Society and made sure they said that research matters. They would not have allowed me to go there and for American Cancer Society to turn me away, just like the rest of the cancer centers that were saying that there was a stigma, rather than they weren't willing to stand up and say that research matters. Lung Cancer Awareness Month is a time for honesty. The honesty about what we can do. And I'm going to tell you, there is an abundance that is out there. And there's always been an abundance out there. That's what's been hard for me. Abundance that says that the commissioner of the NFL is my guy. He has been supportive, along with so many other people that have been supportive. The question is, are we going to make it clear? You guys have raised $3 million, absolutely. All right. And the question says, have you really went in on it? Right? Have you really got to it? Have you really had everyone realize that if we want things to change, because somehow in the lung cancer community, we have these times too often where somebody says, man, I hope and wish that it would change, but then they're questioning if they actually want to do anything about it. Now that's my problem, because I'm over here thinking that if you don't want to do something about it, then how is it supposed to change? If it matters, then you got to get down with it. And the reality is, we've seen it over and over again. We've seen examples of it where it wins. What you guys are doing is what happens when you actually stand up and you make it clear what your goals are. Lung cancer community has been in the way because historically they didn't say that research matters. So as you guys are peeling away from that, what you do is you see success, and we see it over and over and over again, right? But the key is to recognize this success and celebrate that success. What I know is that my wife was tested for EGFR and ALK in January of 2011. She was tested for that, right? Unfortunately, she was negative for both. I know that if she was, that potentially she could be right here with me, because Xalkori was approved in 2011. As you guys are telling your story, I want to make sure that you recognize something that it could be painful for me to recognize, and that is that the ALK-positive group has benefited from research more than any other group. It could be painful, but I choose to celebrate your victory. I choose to celebrate your life. I choose to celebrate that things are moving forward. And I want you guys to remember that as you're going, and don't come with your hat in your hand, but really make sure that people know that things are changing and that we're building off research of things that are working, right? When I see I see the folks with their kids, and I see Gina that is at senior night with her kids, and I see Amanda out playing soccer with Gary and the girls, and that is only because research matters. Only because research is working, because I know exactly what it looks like when it's not. I know what it looks like. And I choose to be excited about the fact that, when they talk about, we haven't had much, you know what? That narrative is crap, all right? Lung cancer has led the way the last damn 5 years, more drugs than any other cancer. Man, come on, celebrate the victory. You guys are leading the way in terms of the benefit from research. We have the ability to turn that thing up that much more. Believe in it. Don't doubt it. Go back and look at the history and accept it. So when you go out, you can tell people, I know it's changing. And not only I know it's changing, but it is leading the way in cancer overall. This is not just leading in terms of lung cancer. This is leading across the way. If you can't tell that somebody is on therapy, well, unfortunately, it's because it's targeted therapy. Unfortunately, it's because the therapy is getting better. Unfortunately, I don't have so many side effects because they continue to improve. My bad. So let me tell you, because I look so good, it's because research is working. I'm able to live because research is working. Are you willing to share the good news? Share the good news with people. If you want to fundraise, it ain't hard. Just watch TV. You'll be able to see. They ain't going to just try to kill them with numbers, because they don't do that. They're not going to just kill them with things that are bad. Not going to do If you want to do something right in cancer, if you want to do something right in other things, it's about making a connection with that person and letting them know that it can happen to them. So I go back to the first thing and I said, do you believe that anyone can get it? Do you believe that the people who have a smoking history actually matter? Because if you do, then you will lead with love. And with that love, you'll be able to make a case to that person. You'll care enough about that person because if it can happen to you, then it can happen to them. And that you're going to now give them an opportunity. You're going to give them the opportunity to do what so many people have done with breast cancer, and that is invest in lung cancer before they have it. Wouldn't it be nice if lung cancer was in a different place 5 years from now when you're diagnosed versus where it is right now? Wouldn't it be nice if anyone can get it? This is not just some money. It's not just pocket change. It is real strategic investment in a community because you believe that it can happen to you. So that's what I want you guys to think about. I want you to soak on those things a little bit, man, and just, you know, again, be honest about the fact if someone didn't tell you, you wouldn't know. So make sure you meet people with that same understanding. Don't let the lung cancer's bull crap narrative of, I can't believe that somebody doesn't know when nobody told them. You know, make sure that you recognize that people care about themselves and don't let that be surprising. Man, it just seems like they just care about themselves. Yes, they do. Let me just let you know. Yes, they do. Right? And so that message, do you believe that anyone can get it? Do you actually care about somebody else? So when you are sharing because you care, not just because you care about yourself. And then you're confident. You're confident because the message that you're sharing is the good news of lung cancer, the change that has happened that has put you guys in the front, and the things that you're able to do right now are because research is working. For some people I know, it doesn't mean that it's perfect. It doesn't mean we've arrived. Doesn't mean that everybody is cured. That is what cancer is. Let's keep it real on that. All right. But what I can tell you, it is clear there's been huge benefit. So if you don't come with that, you got to come with the fact that we are building on success. And that success means that so many people are experiencing things. They are making memories. They are just living life in a way that is completely different than ever. We don't need to go back to where we call the stay-at-home sob story about when things weren't this and things weren't that. We don't need to go there. We've been past that, right? Alk was approved in 2011. That story was old then. Don't tell the same old story. Let's get to the new story. Claim the victory of now and go out and share the good news and let people know if it can happen to me, it can happen to you. I'm not trying to wish it on you. I don't want bad to happen to you. I care about you. I love you. And that's why I have to share with you. That's why I have to. Not just because of me, but because I care. I have to let you know. I want to let you know that you're not just putting money in a burning trash can or something like that. There's too many people that make it seem like that. They make it seem like it's a bad investment because they keep talking about this old numbers. Hasn't changed so much and so much, and and that's just absolutely wrong. So if you're not confident with all the things that have changed, make sure you go back and look at your history. Make sure you take some time to go back and allow yourself to soak on what's actually happened and put some perspective on it as you move forward. So lung cancer awareness has to be about good news. It has to be about going and letting people know what's happening. Let them know that we have moved forward and they are buying into something. And let people know that you care enough about them to share it with them. You're not trying to ruin their day. You're not trying to bring them down. You're not trying to hurt them. You just care about them enough to let them know. I'm excited. Thank you guys for having me on the ALK Talk. I'm excited that you guys have taken advantage of the Zoom platform. I've been excited about it because I've traveled all over, like I said, all over the world. And you know, literally the only way people can really get to know each other is with Zoom, unless they're going to travel the same way as me. And I really can't get to places enough, except for getting back home enough to really build a relationship. So I want to challenge you to continue to lean in on this platform, continue to use it, continue to get to know each other, and not see each other just for a survivor story, but see each other for the amazing people that you are that just happen to have lung cancer. As advocates, not just survivors, and I'm going to tell you, if you guys hear me, I do not say patient, all right? You're not going to hear me say that, because the image that comes with somebody saying patient is not the image that I want. The patient, when you hear them say patient, they think of somebody with a gown looking sick, looking helpless, like somebody has to wait on them. I'm going to say survivor and then claim the victory of the fact that you are alive today, and that is a great day. You guys are an advocate because you're willing to stand. And advocacy doesn't just mean that you're willing to go to Capitol Hill. So with that, remember to celebrate each other. And advocacy from the beginning is just going and getting checked out. Advocacy is going to the cancer center. Advocacy is accepting the truth about your diagnosis. Advocacy is going to a social worker and talking. Advocacy is being open to having your family and friends be a part of your experience. Advocacy is coming to this meeting. It's being a part of the ALK-positive community. Advocacy is standing up for yourself and standing up for the community, but it starts with you. Everybody has something that they can do. Don't think it's too small, and know that no one person is great or as big or as much money as they have. One person will not get it done. And just like it said on the video and everything that you guys have from your shirts, it says stronger together. Stronger together can just be a couple of words, or it can be really exactly who you are. Are you guys literally stronger together? But to do that is to know each other, is to value each other, and know that the reason why you're stronger is not because there's a group of weak patients together. It's because there's a group of strong people that happen to have lung cancer that recognize if they want things to change, then they will stand together and they will go make it change. They're not waiting on anybody else to get it done, because if you keep on waiting, then you're losing opportunity. If you wanted to get it done, the time is right now with a sense of urgency, and the only way to do it is together, because one person is not enough. So Lung Cancer Awareness Month is around the corner. If you needed that to get going, we're already behind, but you know what? It's all good. Today, let's get going. Lung Cancer Awareness Month is an opportunity to get a little bit more shine, but it does not stop. I've told people a whole bunch. If lung cancer only came in November, then we could have just 1 month of love on lung cancer, right? But it doesn't. People are getting diagnosed every day. So if you need to, go and get yourself loose, get yourself ready, because again, our sense of urgency has to be every day. Whatever you can give it, and make it clear what you want, but go out with love and share your story. But understand that story, that connection is what's key to making sure that somebody else understands it can happen to them.
Thank you, Chris.
Thank you.
Can I have a
Thank
high
you,
five?
Chris. I
High
know.
five?
Thank you,
Nope.
Chris.
Awesome. You know, I've heard Chris talk in small increments, but man, I'm fired up. And thank you so much. Chris is down in Miami, just got the Atlanta-Miami game. And so thank you for joining us. Amanda, I'm going to bring it back to you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Chris. Chris, we know, can fire anybody up and get them excited. So for Lung Cancer Awareness Month is in November, and we want people to be excited about it. It is the month that we can definitely advocate as much as we can and tell people about it. Make it personal to your friends and family. Let them know it's not just you, that anyone with lungs can get lung cancer. Our goal is last year for 2020, just so everyone knows too, because we want everyone to understand where your money goes when you fundraise. Last year we raised just almost $1 million, but we were able to have 3 grants, and those are a WADS vaccine, Go Jacks, overcoming bypass signaling to enhance clinical responses, and Dr. Iafredi's SHP2 inhibitor trial. And, you know, since starting all of our fundraising and this organization since 2017, these grants are up and running and they're very successful. So with our goal of $1 million, we hope to have more research grants out there for more ALK experts to have more research, because like we said in the video, more research equals more life. And I know that we all definitely want to continue research, but we need your help. So please use that video. Please tell your story. Tell everyone that anyone with lungs can get lung cancer. For me personally, you know, I had to think about, make it personal. Think about what's important to you, or how you could fundraise. When I first started in 2017, I really wasn't sure where to start. I started thinking about it, and ours came up kind of organically. We were making a list, a summer bucket list, and my two daughters, who you saw in the video, were sitting there telling me, you know, horseback riding, going to the beach and whatnot. And then my older daughter, Isabella, says, you know, oh, lemonade stand. I want to do a lemonade stand this summer. So I'm writing down lemonade stand. And then she's very specific. She wants a lemonade dance party stand. She wanted all of her friends and family passing out lemonade, and she wanted really fun music. And then she said, what about for a cause? And I said, oh, that's great, thinking that she's going to say for all the little puppies or a local animal shelter or something, which would have been fine. But instead, she said, what about lung cancer? So I was definitely a proud mom. And that's when we emailed all of our friends and family. I called my local church. Our local news came out. They did the weather in our neighborhood parking lot, our neighborhood pool parking lot. And we had a goal of $100. We just hoped that we could raise 100 glasses of lemonade, but it ended up to be a super fun event, and people were dancing and having fun. And we ended up making just over $5,000 that our first year for our Lemonade for Lungs fundraiser. My kids took a bad situation and turned it into a fun situation. And that's kind of been our little shtick. We now have sponsors. We have a DJ, and we have a bounce house and a face painter, and we have a silent auction, and we continue to do Lemonade for Lungs fundraiser. And we were not able to do it last year, but we did it the year before, and we made just over $25,000, all for lung cancer research. So think about what you want to do, whether it's a lemonade stand or a golf outing or a dinner. Last year we did a dinner that was outside because of COVID. And our friends who own a restaurant, we contacted them and asked them if they could help us. We just kind of were thinking outside of the box, and we ended up making a couple $1,000s from it. And so anything is helpful. So think about what's important to you. And I know Wendy's going to tell her story on how she fundraised, but that's kind of how we started, and that's kind of what sticks for our family. But, you know, make it personal for your own family. And, you know, I've gotten so many donations through social media and emails and whatnot. But I will pass it off to Misha. Misha's going to tell you how to fundraise on our platform and things that are helpful, and different hashtags to use and whatnot. So Misha is our fundraising chair for ALK-positive Incorporated, and she works very hard for our organization to help us get the money for the organization. So Misha, I'll pass it to you.
Thanks, Amanda. Hey, everyone. So I'm a care partner with my husband, Jim. He was diagnosed almost 2 years ago at 35. We had just become parents. So as you guys can imagine, such a crazy time to learn that anyone with lungs can get lung cancer, which is indeed what we all know on this call. But I'm just so pleased to be here with you and share a bit about the nuts and bolts of fundraising this November. So we do have our Kindful page. As I think most of you know, ALK-positive Inc. became its own nonprofit a few months ago. And because of that, we have now have our own fundraising platform. So I'm putting it in the chat here. That's where you can go to create your personal page. And in the, incredible inspirational words of Chris Draft and Amanda and other folks on this call, really take the opportunity to make it incredibly personal. This platform allows you to put in pictures, video, your own story, and to share it with everyone in your lives. So being able to share it through social media, you can, take your personal link and share it via email or even snail mail and tell people about the page. So that's a great place to set up your fundraiser. And then of course, the fundraising committee, myself and a lot of great volunteers who are on the call right now, we are standing by to answer your questions as you create your page. If you have like queries and things, and we've also set up a sort of quick tips sheet as well for folks. So I'll post that in the chat there as well. So that is the Kindful platform, which I think many folks might have already used in May for our walk campaign, but we're using it again for Lung Cancer Awareness Month. So yeah, I would encourage everyone to create their personal page, make it, your own story with your pictures and videos, and yeah, it's a fantastic opportunity. And I just want to thank everyone who has volunteered their time to make it happen on the fundraising committee. So,
Thanks, Michelle. We're going to hold off on Q&A until after the presentation. So
Sure.
Wendy Asher is a good friend of mine, and she had a fundraiser that she's working on. And Wendy, do you want to explain your fundraiser?
Sure, I'm happy to. You guys have me? I'm Wendy Asher. I just passed my 1-year cancer anniversary. I was diagnosed last October with stage 4, as most everybody else in this group. And my fundraising ideas kind of got started after the summit. I think a lot of us got really exciting after hearing Chris talk and a lot of the researchers talk about what kinds of things the kinds of results that they were getting. So I started kind of talking to my family. We really started brainstorming ways that we could do some fundraising in a very different way, because my family is very spread out. So I have nobody that lives in the same city as I do, none of my immediate family. My family's spread throughout the US, in England, in Canada. So we wanted something that we could do either virtually or online. And we kind of just started brainstorming ideas about what might work for fundraising activities that everybody could somehow be involved in, or everybody could kind of share with their friends and family members to help raise money. And I have a niece who works for a company that's headquartered in Washington, DC, called Scout Bags. I love Scout. They're one of my favorite bags. They're fun. It's something that she and I have had in common since she started working there a few years ago. I happen to know, because my niece Asher works there, that they are a very community organized, or a very community oriented company. They like to give back to their community, and they do have some personal family experience with pediatric cancer. So I knew that they did some fundraising activities for pediatric cancer and have done that for several years. So I decided, it's worth just writing a letter to them to see what kind of response I might get. So I put together a letter, spent a fair amount of time looking online at templates for letter writing, didn't have a whole lot of success with that. So just kind of worked on my own to put a letter together that I sent to the owners of Scout Bags, and of course had an added incentive because my niece was there and she works directly with the owners. So she was able to pass on the letter that I wrote, but also to be able to talk to them about what she knew about ALK-positive cancer as well. In the letter, I just said, I kind of told my story. I talked a lot about this group and the fundraising that we have done and the need for research, the incredible research that's going on now, and research that's kind of on the cusp of creating things for ALK-positive, our ALK-positive group, and kind of left it open to them. I kind of suggested every Christmas they come out with gift bags, and I kind of suggested that maybe they would like to do even just something like a gift in kind that we could raffle some bags, or they might be interested in donating some portion of gift bag sales for a day. And they really went above and beyond. They're being very, very generous in terms of what they're offering us for fundraising. So on November 4th, they are providing a 10% discount to anybody who orders anything and uses a code and the code is easy. It's just ALK-positive. So if you go to the Scout Bags site and click on whatever items you want to choose, put in the code of ALK-positive. Anybody who's purchasing things with that code gets a 10% discount. And then they will, in addition, give 20% of the profits from all the sales on that day using that code to our ALK-positive group for research. So super generous of them. I'm trying to get as much information out as I can. So I've posted on my personal website. I know my family members are all posting a save the date on their personal website. It's the same one that I put on our group site. And then they'll have some more information that we can spread closer to November 4th. So that's kind of my first attempt at fundraising activities. I really don't have a great idea about how much we'll raise, but they did talk to us. And one of the things that I thought I would pass on to this group, they did talk to us about whether we wanted to do, and this kind of goes back to some of the things that Chris was talking about. They asked us if we wanted to do a 30% donation to ALK-positive, or if we wanted to do a 10% discount and a 20% donation. And kind of going back to Chris again, we decided that really we wanted people to feel like they were getting something for themselves out of the deal, as well as just the ability to donate money towards our fundraiser. So we chose to give a 10% discount and then a 20% fundraising to ALK-positive.
That's great, Wendy. I appreciate that. I know there's going to be a bunch of questions for Misha. So in the chat, well, first of all, Misha, can you give us who your posse is? Like who is helping you out? So
Yeah,
you know, we can reach out to multiple people
absolutely.
on our platforms. Yeah.
Yeah. So Maureen Boutin, who was already in the chat, Christina Hershey, Christina Weber, Kara Lynch, Nancy Pronsati, oh gosh, who am I forgetting now? Gina Hollenbeck, everyone knows Gina. She's also part of our fundraising team. Colin Barton, of course. Kathy Weaver and Debbie Martinez. So it's a nice crew. Oh, Vicky Nye and Stephanie Peace. I think I've got
That's
everybody.
great. So if someone has a problem with with the platform, should they reach out to you or?
Yeah, if you email fundraising@alkpositive.org, that'll go to me and a couple other folks on the committee who can field people's questions.
Okay. We are going to take some questions here. Did we Amazon purchasing? Did we work that through with Amazon?
Yeah, ALK-positive is on Amazon now. Yeah, so if you go to the Amazon Smile site to select your charity and you search ALK-positive Inc. will pop up.
So basically, you would recommend us to, on our Facebook pages or social media, put that in to the platform that anyone can link that up with Amazon.
Yeah.
That would be an easy way to fundraise.
Yeah, that is a great one. Absolutely.
Right. I'm a lazy fundraiser. I just post a lot of it on social media, and it's worked.
It works.
So, anyone else with any questions at all in regards to fundraising? All right. Well, I'm going to talk a little about advocacy that Chris brought up, which I'm going to share my screen here. And you guys see that? This is our November calendar. We have a bunch of new events coming up. Mindset Reset, which is a Friday event, is at 2 o'clock. And then we have something called Explore with Writing. So Mindset Reset is working with a life coach who also has ALK-positive, and Explore with Writing is with 2 ALK-positive members. So those are our 2 new groups. I am also going to mention that we have this Tuesday at 1 o'clock. We have our third Death Cafe, which I hate using the word Death Cafe, but it's a really great event. We talk about life more than death. And then this Thursday night, 9 o'clock p.m., all of your men or caregivers with men with ALK-positive, please join us at 9 o'clock Eastern time. So if anyone else has any questions, or Amanda, do you have any closing remarks? Or where's Summer? Summer's been hiding. If Summer has anything to say.
Well, I do have something to say.
All right.
I was just going to kind of also sum up what Chris and everyone has been saying is when you're telling your story to relate, but also think outside the box with how you might want to raise funds. I also was a lazy fundraiser like Mark, and just kind of used social media. And that was great. We brought in $8,000. I've only been diagnosed, a little year and a half almost. But that definitely was the way to go. I did not do a walk in May, but maybe I am considering doing one in October, or even to be ready for the walk in May, maybe setting up an ink tree campaign, which is like having t-shirts made so they'll be ready for everybody to get walking in May. So there are lots of different options, and Misha and her group can definitely give you ideas, and also just brainstorming in ALK-positive or Alkies Unlimited to see what everybody else is doing.
Ruby, why don't you unmute yourself and ask your question?
Yeah, I have a general question about like kind of the psychology of giving. Like, have we ever had a talk on that to help us understand? I know Chris in his talk touched on people care about themselves, and so we have to appeal to them on that personal level. And I guess it kind of struck a chord in me that maybe it would be helpful if we were able to learn more about something like that. I don't know if there is a psychology of giving, but I imagine somebody has studied it. Have we had a talk on that? Could we get a talk on that maybe?
Am I the guy who has to talk on it? I'm joking. I don't know. That's a good idea. I know, Misha, you're a fundraiser by your profession, right?
Yeah, I am. That's a great question. Yeah, I mean, it would be cool to hear a talk about the psychology of fundraising. I'm not a psychologist, although I am a fundraiser, so I could say some about
not just fundraising, Misha, but I'm thinking about giving, like what lends itself to people wanting to give. That more so is what I'm thinking about. But yeah, I just wanted to put that out there as a question. I didn't know if there had been any talk on that. Also, I love the video.
I'll have to research that and get back to you, Ruby. Wendy, and I'm just going over these questions. This is a question: how far are we away from the 1 million goal? And Amanda, I don't know if you're still with us. I can't see you on my screen.
I'm right here, and Misha can probably answer that better than I can.
Okay. She's
the 1 million from last year. Yeah, I'd have to look at the numbers again. I mean, I know that we exceeded our match for the summit, so that was phenomenal. We had I think it ended up being $75,000 of matching funds that we exceeded, and then the walk as well was really successful in May. But I'd have to look at the numbers again to confirm exactly. But yeah, we are knocking it out of the park. I mean, being able to tell these personal stories and, you know, as Chris was saying, raising awareness really is inspirational to people as well. So yeah, we're doing some incredible work together.
I don't know if anyone can comment on this, and maybe this Summer can comment, and that is t-shirts, suggestions and information about bulk t-shirts maybe for sale, or I believe that Gina was involved too in doing a lot of that. I don't know if Gina's still on, but Gina, if you are, you can unmute if you're available, or Summer.
I don't think Gina's here.
Yeah, she was on here, but I know she is a little bit hoarse, but I believe used Inktree, which I actually went on and designed a shirt. It was very easy. They had all these different designs you could use, kind of templates, because I was copying Gina because I loved how she set it up. And then you create a link and a fundraising campaign, and then you can share that on your Facebook page or in an email campaign, however you want to do it. And people can go right to Inktree and order their shirts. Inktree takes care of everything for you. But yeah, I'm sure Gina would be happy to give more specifics.
And Erica Lovacek is creating a Lung Cancer Awareness Month t-shirt. It should be in on our website very soon. I'm hoping, I think that she's almost done with it, but it's just a Lung Cancer Awareness Month t-shirt that you want. If I know you're probably thinking of team shirts or whatnot, but just another option. And also, not only do we have this video you can use, but, like we all said too, make it personal. Ellie Urban is creating these pictures. It almost looks like a poster. They're really amazing. And you can post it on your own social media. I've got John Penders up here. Is it okay if I share his?
Yeah, definitely. I said John said he could do it. There we go.
As you can see, John's is up there. So all you do is you talk to Ellie, and she will put your picture up and give some personal information about yourself, and you can use that for your own fundraising, which is really cool. So we're trying to help you with resources as far as like making it personal with Ellie Urban's pictures that she's creating for you. Contact her, use the video, so people understand a little bit what ALK is and that it can happen to any of us. But we need help, everyone, and we really hope that you'll help us fundraise, because like the video says, like I'm always hashtag more research, more life. We really want more research grants so we can continue more research in hopes that, I want all of us to continue to make memories with our families.
All right. Well, I thought Chris brought a lot of fire into the ALK Talk series because I'm pretty much sleeping in the background here, working the controls, making sure everyone gets in and out. So anyways, Tuesday, again, 1 o'clock, we have ALK Death Cafe, and then 9 o'clock on Thursday, ALK Men's Group. And we will be off for a while in November. We'll be back, I believe, on the 24th. And I'll be releasing the November calendar tonight. So I'll be posting that. And thank you, everyone, for a great meeting. Thanks, Amanda and Summer.